Has it asked you to approve it? Yep. All right. Well, we've got Severprem here. And
You just got me wiping my nose just as
haven't given Emma the flick. We're just here with Severprem. Sure, Emma will be annoyed at me. But anyway. All right, keep going. If Hara and Gauri, Lord Shiva and Parvati, are really propitious to me, even in dream, let all that I have said in glorification of this poetry of mine, written in a popular dialect, come out true. Do you want to read the next one?
Sure. I reverence the immensely holy city of Ayodhya, Sri Ram's birthplace, and the river Sarayu flowing beside it, which wipes out the sins of the Kali age. Again, I bow to the men and the women of the city, who enjoy the affection of the Lord in no small measure. Even though they were damned as a result of the heap of sins incurred by the culminations of Sita. Whoops. I'll reread that.
That's fine.
Even though they were damned as a result of the heap of sins incurred by the calumniators of Sita, who were instrumental in bringing about her lifelong exile, they were granted a heavenly abode of Sri Rama, who relieved them of their sin. A great Kaushalya, the eldest queen of King Dasartha.
Oh, I think that's Kosala.
Kosala. Okay.
Is it? Is that Kosala?
Yeah, that looks more like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
His glory is pervading throughout the world. You know.
Do you want me to keep going?
So.
She is the eastern horizon, hence arose the lovely moon in the shape of the Lord of Raghus, who affords delight to the entire universe and is blighting as frost to lotuses in the form of the wicked. Recognizing King Dasharatha together with all his consorts as incarnations of merit and fair blessings, I make obeisance to them in thought, word, and deed. Knowing me as a servant of your Son, be gracious to me. The father and mothers of Sri Rama are the very perfection of glory, by creating whom even Brahma, the creator, has exalted himself.
I adore the king of Ayodhya, Dashatha, who cherished such true love for the feet of Sri Rama that he gave up his dear life as a mere straw the moment the Lord, who is compassionate to the humble and meek, parted from him. Make obeisance to the king Janaka, along with his family, who bore affection for the feet of Sri Rama. Even though he had veiled it under the cloak of yoga or self-abnegation and opulence, it broke out the moment he saw Sri Rama.
Of Sri Rama's brothers I bow, first of all to the feet of Bharata, whose self-discipline and religious austerity beggar description, and whose mind thirsts for the lotus feet of Sri Rama, like a bee, and never leaves their side. I reverence the lotus feet of Lakshmana, cool and charming, and a source of delight to the devotee whose renown served as a staff for the spotless flag of Sri Rama's glory. He is no other than the 1,000-headed serpent god Sesha, the cause, support of the universe, who came down to dispel the fear of the earth. May that son of Sumitra, an ocean of benevolence and a mine of virtues, be ever propitious to me. I adore the lotus feet of Satrugna, Lit, the slayer of his foes, who is valiant yet amiable in disposition, and a constant companion of Bharata. I supplicate Hanuman, the great hero whose glory has been extolled by Sri Rama himself.
I greet Hanuman, the son of the wind god, an embodiment of wisdom who is fire, as it were, for the forests of the wicked, and in the abode of whose heart resides Sri Rama, wielding a bow and arrows. The lord of monkeys, Sugriva, the chief of bears, Jambavan, the king of demons, Vibhishna, and the host of monkeys, Angada and others. I reverence the charming feet of all who attain Sri Rama, even though born in the lowest species. As many worshippers there are of the feet of Sri Rama, including birds, beasts, gods, human beings, and demons, I adore the lotus feet of them all, who are selfless votaries of Sri Rama.
Buka, Thanaka, and others, viz. Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, sage Narada, and all other eminent sages who are devotees of God and proficient in the spiritual lore. I make obeisance to all. Placing my head on the ground, be gracious to me, O lords of ascetics, knowing me as your servant. Janaki, daughter of Janaka, and mother of the universe, and the most beloved consort of Sri Rama, the fountain of mercy, I seek to propitiate the pair of her lotus feet, so that by her grace I may be blessed with a refined intellect. Again, I adore in thought, word, and deed the lotus feet of the all-worthy Lord of Raghus, who has lotus-like eyes and wields a bow and arrows, and who relieves the distress of his devotees and affords delight to them.
Were you saying, yeah, I, I found it really interesting. Sorry to
Yeah.
just interrupt what we're reading. But a little bit back where it says, I reverence the charming feet of all who attain Sri Rama, even those born in the lowest species. I don't know if your version says the same thing,
I'm trying to find. Oh, yep.
but I find it really interesting. All who attained Sri Rama.
Yeah.
It's not all who followed or bowed down to, or it's all who attained it.
Yeah.
As in, Sri Ram is also a state of being.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
It's just a thought that came across as we're reading that.
Yeah. That reminds me of this thing I just read on that Chalisa thing. Has some that I was reading from before when we did it. It has some descriptions and stuff. I'll just read it out. It reminds me of kind of what you're saying, I think. During this is Swami Tirumyananda from a mystical interpretation of the Hanuman Chalisa. It's talking about, I think, the last section, I guess. But during spiritual movement, a transformation occurs in the heart of the devotee. In the sadhana state, the state of spiritual discipline, Lord Hanuman, Shraddha or faith, holds Rama, the goal of life, God realization, and Lakshmana, purity of heart, on his shoulders. Turning the mind to Hanuman, invokes the presence of Rama, accomplished by Lakshmana, purity of mind, and Sita, intuitive intellect. In the city state, the state of perfection, Rama and Sita are seated on the throne. Lakshmana and his brothers Bharata and Satrughna, cosmic mind in all its glory, attend on Rama, while Hanuman, the spirit of divine love, constitutes to adore the lotus feet of Rama forever. This is an allegorical setting of para bhakti, supreme devotion, or moksha, liberation. This is the cherished goal of Saint Tulsidas, the composer of the Hanuman Chalisa. Yeah. Just when you're talking about attaining Ram, there's all these other aspects around attaining Ram. I feel like this talked about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
I mean, yes, like attaining Ram is in its own way attaining moksha, liberation. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. It's cool.
Just keep reading.
Yeah.
Again, I adore in thought, word and deed, the lotus feet of all worthy. Sri Raghunatha, where's lotus like? Oh, you read that, didn't you? Different versions.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm up to. I feel like our versions, our books are slightly different, so it's hard to follow exactly.
Yeah.
But I was up to I reverence the feet of Sita and Rama.
Okay. I reverence the feet of Sita and Rama, who, though stated to be different, are yet identical, just like a word and its meaning, or like water and the waves on its surface, and into whom the meek and afflicted are most dear. I greet the name Rama of Sri Raghunatha, which is composed of seed letters representing the fire god, the sun god, and the moon god.
No,
Right?
can I interrupt there?
Yeah.
Did you? Because I read out all the footnotes as well.
Mm.
Did you have a footnote there after Raghus? I greet the name of Rama, the chief of Raghus, and then a footnote.
Yeah, it says this distinguishes the name from the two other names, bearing the same sound but denoting two other personalities. Parasurama and Balarama, the older brother of Shri Krishna. Do you have something slightly different to that?
Yeah, no, that's what I had. Yeah. I was just saying I read out all the footnotes just to and then when I finished reading the footnote, my protocol, which Emma and I had a good laugh about, is to say back to the text. So I'd appreciate if you could follow the protocol.
Right, I shall attempt to sit with such standards
Yeah.
um, so back to the text. We're talking about the seed words within the composition of letters of Sri Rama. So the fire god, the sun god, and the moon god. Ra and Ma, respectively. It's the same as Brahma, the creative aspect of God. Vishnu, his preservative aspect, and Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Oh no, I've skipped a line.
Sorry, can I
Yeah.
interrupt again? I just don't. Sorry, it's a bit awkward because I just don't know if yours has the footnote there. After seed letters,
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
it doesn't.
No.
It's
Oh
like
yes,
back at which it was just at the start there where you started, which is composed of the seed letters and then it has a cross.
Yep. Sorry, I do.
That's all right. It's all good. Like if you watch the early episodes of me trying to work this out, it's all good.
Definitely not professionals.
Yeah, but we'll get.
Okay, so rewind tape.
It's fine. Just yeah.
I greet the name of Rama of the Sri Raghunatha, which is composed of the seed letters. And it says the seed letters, each letter sound of the Samskrata. How would you say that?
Samskrita.
Okay. Alphabet represents one or more gods of the Hindu pantheon. And the Tantras claim that these letters, which are technically known by the name of Bij mantras or seed letters, if joined with others, spell sacred to that particular deity and repeated with due ceremony a fixed number of times, assess the efficiency of revealing the deity in person before the worshipper and propitiating him or her. Cool.
Cool.
Don't want
Want me
to talk
to
about that? No.
what?
Don't want to say anything on that? Anything on that?
No.
Cool.
I don't honestly understand a lot of it.
Yeah, man, isn't that what
Yeah,
this is about?
yeah, just kind of reading it to
Yeah.
get a feel around it and yeah.
So I'll just follow on from which is composed of seed letters,
Yep.
representing the fire god, the sun god, and the moon god. Ra and Ma, respectively. It is the same as Brahma, the creative aspect of God. Vishnu, his preservative aspect, and Shiva, his disintegrating aspect, and the vital breath of the Vedas. It is beyond the gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, peerless, and the mine of virtues. So you know the gunas, don't you? The different aspects. There's three aspects.
Rajas, Tamas,
In sattva.
Sattva. Yeah, that's three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if I try to explain it, I'm going to stuff it up.
Well,
Different inner aspects of ourselves and the way we
I learned about him when I was doing my astrology Jyotish course,
Oh yeah, cool.
and what I just vaguely remember from it is that Rajas is like movement, Tamas is like, I guess, stopping, like, or
Yeah, it's like
slowness,
slovenly sort of, yeah.
restriction.
Yeah.
And Sattva is kind of like ideal, like kind
Yeah.
of flowing between the two.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot more comprehensive than that, but like Sattva's kind of the goal, but you're always bouncing between Tamas and Rajas.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, quite often when you're in that Thomas sort of feeling, that's like your yeah, slower, almost depressive aspect
Yeah,
of things
yeah,
almost.
stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that exactly. Yeah. That's another podcast.
Mm. Yeah.
It is the great spell which Lord Maheshwara mutters, and which, when imparted by him at Kashi, the modern day Varanasi, leads to salvation. I have a little asterisk here.
Yeah, I've got lots of footnotes coming up, like
So
half a page.
the scriptures maintain that Lord Shiva, the deity presiding over the holy city of Kashi, whispers into the right ear of every creature, dying within its boundaries, the name Rama, and thereby brings emancipation to the dying soul.
Yeah.
Back to the text. Its significance is known to Lord Ganesha, who is worshipped before all others due to the glory of the name of Rama. Another footnote.
Can I interrupt just here?
Yeah.
It's interesting that yours said who is worshipped before all. Oh, uh, I don't know what it said actually, but like it said to the name of Rama, whereas mine just has to the name with a capital N.
Nice.
Interesting.
That's what I love about actually reading from two different
Mm.
transliterations, because I guess it's really hard to translate into English. And so having two different translations probably actually helps you get to the crux of the thing, or
Yeah,
the truer meaning, because there is two different translations. You go,
yeah,
okay, cool, like, yeah, but do you
yeah.
know what
Well,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think what you're trying to say is like now I know, like, because I've been seeing this name as I've been reading it with a capital N, and been wondering, is like, is that Shiva? Is that Ram? Like,
mm,
I was pretty sure it was Ram, but now that I heard you say that your translation was just like glory of the name Sri Brahma, and mine just has the capital, it's like, oh, that's what it means. Like, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So every time now I read that it says name with a capital N, I'm gonna know that it means Brahma.
And then that can get into that debate of, well, it's all different aspects of the name anyway. So
Yeah, yep, yep. Sita, yep, yep.
so the footnote to that was, which comes after of the name Rama. We read in the Puranas how there was a scramble for precedence amongst the gods, each of whom claimed the first position for himself. They approached Brahma for a ruling. He told them that they should race around the world, and that whoever finished the round quickest of all would be accounted the highest. Ganesha, who rode on no better animal than a rat, naturally lagged behind. He met on the way the celestial sage Narada, who advised him to scratch the world. Excuse me, who advised him to scratch the word Rama on the ground and pace around it. as the word comprised in itself the entire creation. Ganesh did accordingly, and was naturally the first to finish the round of the universe. Brahma appreciated this act of Ganesh. Brahma appreciated this act of Ganesha and conceded his title to the precedence over all the other gods. Since then, Ganesha has uninterruptedly enjoyed the right of being worshipped first of all. Yeah.
It's cool.
Which is pretty cool. So, like, it's because he scratched the name Rama, he ended up being first in this race around the universe to become the top dude.
So Ram is the universe.
But really, yeah, and it goes to that whole saying, which is, we read further on, like way further on, how the name is more powerful than God himself. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. Do you want to read on from that?
Yeah, sure. So back up to, it was the
Valmiki.
one after the name, was it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the poet Valmiki.
Yep. The oldest poet, Valmiki, is acquainted with the glory of the name, inasmuch as he attained to purity by repeating it in the reverse order. Another footnote here. Valmiki was a highway robber in his earlier life and was known by the name of Ratnakara. 7 seers who once fell a victim to his depredation awakened him to the reprehensible nature of his conduct and instructed him in the holy name of Rama. Completely immersed in sin, he was, however, unable to utter the word. The seers therefore asked him to repeat the name in the reverse order. In this way, he was eventually able to utter the name correctly, and in course of time became so fond of repeating it that he ultimately turned out to be a pious sage and seer, and related the story of Sri Rama in fine verse even before his advent. That's pretty cool, hey? Like, that gives me a lot of faith. You know? Yeah.
Do you have more to that footnote on yours?
Not that section. There's another footnote coming.
Because mine was word for word the same, but I have another paragraph after that.
Is that not the next footnote though?
We're told in the.
Yeah, that's the next footnote, which is.
Okay, I'm
It's
here
got
again.
I got another symbol there.
Okay, I do not. Yeah.
So I'll get to it. I'll go back to the text. It's hearing the verdict of Lord Shiva that the name is as good as 1,000 other names of God. Goddess Bhavani, Parvati, dined with her consort after uttering it only once. And now I go down to the next footnote. We are told in the Padma Purana how Bhagavan Shankara, is this what you're saying?
Yeah.
Bhagavan Shankara once invited his consort to join him in his dinner. Goddess Parvati, however, declined on the ground that she had not yet recited the Vishnu Sahasranama, which she must before her breakfast. Bhagavan Shankara asked her to repeat the name of Rama instead, as a single utterance of the name was as good as reciting 1,000 other names of the Lord. Parvati did accordingly and forthwith joined her Lord in dinner. Back to the text. Noticing such partiality of her heart for the name, Hara, Lord Shiva, made that lady, who was the ornament of her sex, the ornament of his own person, i.e., made her a part of his own being by assigning to her the left half of his body. Shiva knows full well the power of the name, due to which deadly poison served the purpose of nectar to him. There you go. Did you want to keep going, or should we finish it up?
I'm happy to keep going if you are, man. I don't mind. Yeah.
Can we finish up the recording, just because I don't know how I'm going to go uploading it. I've never done that before.
Let's do that.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So we'll remember, maybe just mark the page, because I'll use my own page mark. Yeah. All right. Well,
Cheers, man.
thanks for coming along, Prem.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Sorry it was such an awkward read-in, but
Like,
I guess it's these things of like recorded whilst doing something.
it
Not
cut
as natural.
out. Yeah. All right. I'll finish the recording. Oh, how do I do it? Here we go. Stop recording.